Yeah, that's Sigh. Sorry not to be on today. I think it's gonna be midnight by the time I get this up. Everything that could happen today did. Dude came cut my lawn. Good news is it's up to me whether to get a final cutting. So if I can squeak by without it, I am, because that's feed money. And something came, and there's one thing we're waiting for, so we're pretty good. Um, I went through a very long time of working with Loki, as I've told you guys before. I have a jealous streak a mile wide. A mile wide. I can't control it. I can't help it, and I know where it comes from. But I know that it coming from my childhood and coming from being in an environment where you had to compete for affection doesn't make it go away. And that's why my generation ruined millennials, by the way, because we were made to compete for everything, so we wanted to spare them, and we screwed everything up, apparently. We so sorry. Anyhow, I hear laughter back here. It was traumatic to not win anything, ever. Anyhow, um, more laughter. I have been having these severe periods of despair working with Odin. I don't just mean we're not worthy, we're not worthy. I mean, like, utter despair. And I was feeling this despair coming off of him today, and it would just come in waves as I'm, like, trying to read my wolf book. And Loki would go, what's the matter? What's the matter? And I would tell him, and I would be saying all this stuff. And I'd be yibbering and not making sense, and, So, long story short, or shorter, we decide to do trance drumming. And I'm doing my rattle, and I go through and I sage the whole house. I do all this ritual, and we do stuff together for I don't know how long. Felt like a long time. And I thought he was taking me like on a shamanic journey, and I was going to learn something, and I was going to get over this because I said I would like you to be able to, take all my jealousy from me, so that whenever I encounter these books, I can see these women, because it's always a woman, as my sisters, and not get angry even though they all talk about certain aspects of their relationship I really didn't need to know about. And basically, Odin, I don't know, wanted to have fun with me, wanted to do something. I thought it was this big shamanic journey, and I come out and I'm exactly the same. I pick up one of the books and I'm trying to read it, and I'm trying to be like the sisterhood of women who work with Odin. I'm still the same jealous, insecure bitch I've always been. So that worked really well. And the way I got over that with Loki, by the way, is that I do not read Loki articles. I do not read Loki books. I do not watch Loki videos. I have nothing to do whatsoever with the Lokean community, and that is the only way I keep it in check, and we both know it, and he's fine with it. He's like, okay. Now, he had kept pushing me to try to get me over it for like years, and then he finally gave up. And with Odin, I come out of it, and he goes, well, still jealous. I'm like, yeah. He goes, good, now you know you're jealous. And I look at him, and he says, well, I'm one to talk. Look who you have, because I'm back to Odin and Loki. So, I don't know why we did all the shamanic work together. I don't know why we did all these rituals that we did, or what was going on, if we did anything, or Odin was just bored. I don't know. I thought we were coming to this great epiphany. If the epiphany was was that I am jealous, I knew that. We didn't have to sage my whole house and burn copal and do ritual drumming and shamanic trance and rattle work and all this other stuff. We didn't have to do all that. He could have just said you're jealous, deal with it. I don't know. I don't know. At one point he literally lost his temper, kind of in the meditation, slammed me into a sitting position, put two wolves beside me, put two ravens like here, and yet they weren't there. His hands slammed down on my shoulders, and he said, "You're one of mine. Deal with it now. Shut up and sit down." And that was the great mystical experience with Odin. And he also dropped me down a well, but that's over on Patreon, so you can read about that. So I don't know. These women write these books and they have these great mystical experiences, and it's always something borderline erotic with a spear that I don't want to go into. Phallic symbolism, and I don't. It's weird if you've read these books. And I just get a pissed off old man who's dropping me down wells, probably imagery I don't want to think about, and hear howls of laughter back here, and yelling at me and losing his temper. So I don't get that as advertised experience. I never do. But I get what I get, so I suppose I should be grateful. So, sorry not to be on. I thought we were doing this great mystical spiritual journey, and in the end, Odin just lost his temper and yelled at me like he always does. I told him he is welcome to give me back to Jehovah at any time, and he's not taking the offer, so what are you going to do? So I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.